Van Hollen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Secretary, welcome. And let me start by thanking you for reaching out to Governor Moore in Maryland early in your tenure to discuss Maryland infrastructure priorities, and especially your commitment to making sure that we rebuild the Key Bridge. I just want to thank you.
I had a great conversation with the governor and his team. Yeah. They came to DOT, which was very nice of them.
Yeah, it's a big project, and we are glad to have your support. Now let me turn to an area of disagreement. On Monday, Maryland joined 19 other states to sue you in your capacity as Secretary of Transportation at DOT for what they describe as illegally withholding or threatening to withhold critical transportation funds to try to require those states to enforce federal immigration law. Mr. Secretary, I don't want to get into the merits of this right now. I think that I think the states will prevail. I think that's an inappropriate use of your effort to leverage transportation funds. But my question is this: does that decision, that conditionality, apply to previously awarded multi-year grants? In other words, there are grants that have been awarded that take place, they spend out over a period of time. So my question is, are you intending to retroactively apply that condition?
No.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to get that clarification. Let me now also thank the Lilly family for all your efforts to make sure we prevent future tragedies like the one that took the life of your son. And I do want to talk about the situation at DCA. Because I know that, just yesterday in the Commerce Committee, we heard testimony from folks at FAA that there had been over, I think, 15,000 concerning incidents at DCA since October 2021. And the response from the FAA official there was that they, quote, missed something, unquote. That's scary. That's very scary. And it's especially scary because we should have had that information, in my view, when the Congress considered the FAA reauthorization bill. And there were a number of us at the time, it was mostly the senators from this region, right? The two Virginia senators, myself, and then Senator Cardin, who were very concerned about adding additional airline routes.
Slots, right?
Slots, yeah. There were five pairs that were added. And I remember talking to then Secretary Buttigieg, who I think was probably in this room sitting right there, and he expressed concern as well about additional pressures that would be put on the already most congested airport in the country if we added those slots. This information was not available then, but there was lots of reason for concern. Those slots have since been added, I think early this year. Those additional slots were added to the most congested airport in the country. And I know you put safety first, right? So my question to you, Mr. Secretary, is will you work with us to re-examine that decision? Because the four of us voted against the entire FAA authorization at that time because of our concern about safety. And given all the information that's now available, I hope we will go back to see if that will aggravate an already very difficult problem.
I think it would be appropriate for this body to have a conversation about what is appropriate and what is the capacity that DCA can handle. I think you all should discuss that, no doubt. By the way, there was 1,500. You mentioned there was
15,000.
80, but 85 were critically close in that time period.
Yeah.
And so and I take your point on that. We're trying to, at the FAA now, say what else should we see that we're not seeing? Because that should have been seen. That cross traffic should have been stopped. So we're doing that work right now. We're using some AI tools But also, I think it's my responsibility to talk about the air traffic control system and say that is a foreseeable danger.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to have conversations about safety. And that's how all of us doing our jobs together.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate your efforts on that. And let me just say, I listened carefully to your answer with respect to the additional slots. And I agree it's a conversation we need to have up here. But my question to you, Mr. Secretary, is given your important role, will you engage with us in that discussion and a determination about whether or not we now need to roll back some of those slots?
I would welcome the opportunity to engage with all of you on that conversation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you.